Good evening, everyone. My name is Rob Wilcox. I have the honor of being the dean here at the University of South Carolina. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the university, and in particular, I want to welcome you to the Karen Williams courtroom. The late Judge Williams, for those of you who didn't know her, may not have heard of her, she was a distinguished alumna of this law school. She was also the first woman to serve on the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit, and then became the first female chief judge of the Fourth Circuit before her health failed prematurely and caused her early retirement. Despite her untimely passing only a few years after she retired, Judge Williams's successes helped to ensure that doors would be opened, particularly for women in the profession who followed her. Her career showed us that success can be achieved without sacrificing the important parts of the profession, without sacrificing civility or professionalism or dignity. Indeed, I am confident that Judge Williams would have told you that civility, professionalism, and dignity were actually the keys to her success. And the reason she did what she was able to do, I will tell you also, a substantial intellect was a big part of that. Her achievements alone might well have been sufficient to hold open doors for those who came behind her. But she didn't make that assumption. Perhaps it was because her first job had been as a school teacher in the public schools of South Carolina. She always understood the importance of reaching out and bringing other people along with her, making an affirmative effort to be a mentor and to be a teacher. Few, if any, of our current students knew Judge Williams, but they certainly know of her. Just as her career has become a role model for them, she can be a role model for us as we meet to discuss the most effective methods of professional mentoring. We have many special guests here tonight who have been involved in mentoring throughout the nation. And I welcome all of you to this school and to this very special courtroom named in Judge Williams' honor. We hope you will make yourself at home over the next couple days at our law school. We're just under a year old in this building, and we are still enjoying it. More than happy to show you around if you'd like a tour. Almost exactly 10 years ago, the end of March 2008, the Nelson Mullins Riley and Scarborough Center on Professionalism held what I believe was the first truly national conference on lawyer mentoring. At the time, only Georgia, South Carolina, and Ohio had some form of nascent statewide bar-run mentoring programs for new lawyers. There were a few other very successful locally run programs, and there were other organizations, important organizations, such as the American Inns of Court and the American Bar Association, which were committed to the development of mentoring in the profession. We tried to bring most of these sponsoring organizations together then as co-sponsors of that 2008 conference. And we were joined by lawyers from around the country, many of them involved in Inns of Court throughout the country. And they took home with them the lessons that they had learned from this conference that year. And I can tell you that rarely have I been to any conference in my career that I could look back to later and trace as much progress as we have traced with legal mentoring. We are pleased to have the Legal Mentoring Consortium back in Columbia for this year's conference. Mentoring has become an important part of the educational process. It's not just something that happens after law school. I know Dean Koch is here. I'm sure you all have the same experience in Nashville. It is a critical part of legal education. but honesty compels us to acknowledge that as widespread as mentoring may be starting to become, it is still imperfect. It is not necessarily equal in quality at every venue. That is why we need this consortium and this opportunity to gather together to share our best ideas, our experiences, and our research, with the goal not only of spreading mentoring more broadly, but of improving its effectiveness where it exists. We are honored to have all of you at the law school. I will tell you, we are excited to have you at the law school. If together we are remembered for our work in bringing meaningful mentoring to the legal profession, we will have accomplished something very important. You're going to hear a lot of thanks over the next couple days, but if you will tolerate just one moment of the dean giving a few people thanks, I would like to do so. You're going to hear thanks for our conference sponsors, including Thomson Reuters, which has been instrumental in putting this together for us this year. And you're going to hear thanks for various individuals throughout the conference. But let me begin by thanking a couple people in particular. First and foremost, Sharon Williams, the Associate Director of our Nelson Mullins Center, and a person who has been involved in this conference since 2008. She's done everything to make this conference what it is this weekend, and she always does it very well, and so I thank Sharon for that. John Montgomery is a predecessor of mine as Dean of the Law School. He is a successor of mine as the Director of the Nelson Mullins Center, and he deserves a special recognition for the fine work that he has done over the years to promote mentoring around the country, particularly his work with the American Inns of Court. The Nelson Mullins Riley and Scarborough Center has had a lot of wonderful partners over the years in this project. I want to particularly mention the American Inns again. We've got Dean Koch, and we've got the Executive Director, General Mandy Dunn, with us today. And I want to particularly mention General Dunn because she is also an honorary degree recipient from our university, so it's good to have an alum back. Thank you. Finally, the current director of our center is somebody I hope you will get to know this weekend if you don't know her. Professor Elizabeth Chambliss is a remarkable voice, a strong voice for the importance of anticipating particularly the impact of technology on our profession. She understands that technology provides new opportunities as well as new challenges for the delivery of legal services and for those of us who work in the profession. These are changes for which we need, as mentors, to prepare our students, to prepare our next generation of lawyers. We need to ensure that they are ready to be sure that when technology, as it comes to the profession and changes within the profession, it does so without a loss of ethics and professionalism. And so with those thank yous, we will have many more over the course of the next few days, but I'm now pleased to call upon Professor Chambliss to add her welcome and to introduce our keynote speaker.